Tell me if I ain't good enough for you, baby. Charger. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you need. Tell me if it ain't good enough for you, baby. So how I lose that? If anything is possible. Hey, welcome in, welcome in. Take this gum out of my mouth for being rude. Trying to find a charger. Y'all, give me a second. Tell me if it ain't good enough for you, baby. All right, cool. Okay, so my chat says I have one person by the thumbs up. However, that ain't supposed to be on. However, hey girl, hey, it has been a while. Welcome. I see. You just sent me something today on Instagram. I haven't looked at yet though. But yeah, it's been a minute. I'm trying to get my lives back up again. I was supposed to do one yesterday and fell asleep. So we figured we come back and do it again today. I try again today. We talking politics. That's what we doing. We talking the politics. So hopefully I get some people in here. I had so much stuff to plan. Hey Anna, how you doing? Now Anna, you know that everything I had planned on to come here and talk about, it done totally lost my brain because I got brain fog. Let's see, 103. Hold on, I'm trying to log into my laptop real quickie. I was gonna go over a lot of the things that I was gonna go over a few of the things that was in the Agenda 47, which is what Trump has laid out on his website for America's vision. A lot of Project 47 is in direct alignment with Project 2025. But then there are some changes, some slight changes, just a little bit. But it's a lot. And it was a few things that I just like totally blew me out the water that I wanted to address. I posted up a couple of them. Yes, it's grown. It's hot. It's boom. I got inches. I got like maybe, I think it's like maybe 16 inches now. When I cut it all off that one time, I cut off 11 inches. So I think it's 16 inches now. I don't know. I haven't straightened it and measured it. I straightened it before I blew it out, but I didn't measure it. But yeah, so I was going to talk about a lot of the things that's on the Agenda 47 and some of the things that kind of stood out to me with the mass deportations and stuff, homelessness, drugs, and like what his plan is as far as how he's going to address those, the wars, how he was going to address those. I was going to speak to a lot of those things. But when I got up today, or when I actually got online today, I saw a lot of things that kind of got me a little bit more motivated, a little bit in my feelings. I was like, oh, up here with it, right? So y'all know how I like to talk about Dems don't do enough for me as far as being proactive and taking action to make sure stuff that's negative for the country doesn't happen. That was one of my main gripes. I talk about that a lot. Like I said, I didn't want to directly blame Democrats as a whole for Trump getting elected. I blame the MAGA supporters. That's who I blame for Trump getting elected. I was very upset when Joe Biden was pushed out and replaced by Kamala Harris. But I was rocking with Kamala. I was fine with her running. But again, I don't blame that on her losing either. I've seen a few news stations talking about the Dems have started the blame game. Where? Everything that I'm seeing is conservatives and or Republicans Republicans who decided to vote Democratic this particular season. But these are the people that I'm seeing, who's pointing fingers and placing blame. Other than when we talking about the voters directly, but I'm talking about as far as the administration goes. They said the Dems are starting to point fingers. When they talk about the Dems, they ain't talking about us, the voters. They talking about the people in charge. And I was like, I'm not seeing it. Everybody that I'm hearing that's talking about Biden should have did this, or Biden should have did that, or Kamala should have did this, and Kamala should have did that. They aren't the Democratic leaders. They are people who crossed over to this process for the most part, is what I'm seeing. Or they're Republicans altogether. Okay. But so the very first video that I saw this morning was the governor of New York, Kathy Hochul is her name. She came out and did a speech that was supported by Attorney General Letitia Green. Letitia Green is the one who filed the civil charges against Trump in New York. And those two women, their speeches energized me for the rest of this day, child. I'm going to let you know. And they were saying what I thought Kamala Harris should have said in her concession speech. Kamala Harris made a good concession speech. I must agree. It was very presidential. You could tell that she was upset. It even looked like she wanted to break down for a minute, but she can't, because you can't show no weakness. You can't let them see you cry, right? That type of situation. Hey, Celestine, where you been? Yeah, Letitia James let loose in the most nice, nasty way as she possibly could. In the most nice, nasty way. They were on it, and she let them know, by under no circumstances are we scared of you. We've been planning for this for months. Now, I told y'all, I've been upset that it doesn't appear that the Democrats are doing anything proactive, right? To hear these leaders say they have been watching what he's been saying, they have been watching the traffic, they have been they've been listening to him. They've been reading Project 2025 way before it came out. They've been looking at Agenda 47, and they have been preparing. They are preparing in the courts. They are preparing in the voting booths, and they are preparing in the streets, is what I heard them say. They are preparing to take him on and his administration on. So all these things about the bans, the mass deportation bans, the abortion bans, the what other things he trying to force? Let's just stick with those two right now. Okay, those things, some of those things that they are going to be on his ass. They're going to have their foot in his neck. I'm paraphrasing, putting in my own words, but I'm making sure y'all understand exactly what's going on. They said it in a nice, nasty kind of way. She told him, though, by any means necessary, we're going to get it done. If you think that you're going to threaten anybody in this state, woo, Celestine, let me tell you, it's a tedious read, but I'm going to tell you to pause it for a second. Pause it and go over to Donald Trump's campaign website and read Project Agenda 47. This is his direct plan for what he plans on changing for America. And there's video attached, so they have a transcript where it's breaking down what he said in the video, but there's actual video attached as well. And some of those videos are over a year old. They're not just from this year or from a few months ago. They're over a year old. And some of those things seem a little bit more heinous than the Project 2025 ideas. But yeah, Letitia James and them was like, I don't care what he talking about on the national level. Because on the state level, we going to defend our people. If you come after our immigrants, we coming after you. If you come after our rights, as our reproductive rights, we coming after you. Because New York just passed it. Where the abortion ban was not going to happen in New York, right? They broke it down of everything that they was going to come after. They was going to protect their people. If they feels like that the government, the federal government, is trying to strip basic human rights from the citizens of New York, the neighbors gonna have a foot in his ass. That's what they were saying, right? So I was talking to Anna earlier in the comment section, and she mentioned that her AG and governor also did a speech today. Their speech was like 55 minutes long. They had answering questions as to after. I don't know if Letitia and them did or not because I didn't watch it that far. But anyway, I thought even though it did not seem as impactful as far as delivery, the way that they were delivering, because she had me, I was driving a van today, and she had me standing up in the van. I'm short, I'm only 5 feet tall. She had me standing up in the van like, let's go, let's go. I was screaming, like my people on the street was looking like, what the hell is going on with her? I was like, let's go. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. I still agree we need our soldiers. We need some hitters in the street too. But this is what I'm talking about. This is the language that I wish would have been spoken on during the campaign. I think this is the language that would have brought more people out of the fold to the right side of history. This is the language to know that our leaders are there fighting for us. Like all through the campaign system that we've been told what's going to happen and what we're going to do and what they would do in opposition. But when the question was always brought up, because it was brought up often, when the question was brought up to the people who was in the campaign, to VP Harris, to Tim Walz, Governor Tim Walz, and to other news pundits, every time the question was brought up about what is going to happen when he wins, what are we planning to do next, nobody had an answer. Everybody always skipped over that shit. Now, when I was looking at the Washington current governor speak on it, he was saying, we not going to tell y'all everything that we doing line by line, and I appreciate that. He said, no, we not going to lay out our game plan, but what we are going to tell you, we prepared to take them to court, we prepared to beat them through the administration, through voting, we prepared to hit them on the streets. Okay, they are preparing, and they have been doing so for months. What I liked about his speech that I didn't get from Letitia James was he was able to articulate what the challenges may be, to let you know this not going to be an easy ride. It's not going to be an easy fight. We've taken it to him before. Now, this is some things that I didn't know. I know there has been a lot of litigation going on throughout the administration, cases filed against Trump. I did not know that there was 435 cases filed by the state governors and AGs against the Trump administration. 435. That's a lot of damn cases. And this is all in regards to things that he wanted to do that was against the Constitution or that was illegal. Now, the governor of Washington was saying that there's things that they're going to look at if their constituents complain, like, what you going to do about this? Or he said he was going to do this. What you going to do about that? They are actually looking at the actual legality of it to see if it's illegal or not, or just immoral. Okay, they're going to address the things that are definitely illegal first. Then we get to the immoral stuff next. But what he said it also is that even with being prepared and having an outlook and trying to ready themselves for his upcoming administration, he said that they will, the Trump administration today is not the same as the Trump administration back in 2016. I might be missing chats. Hold on for a second. Okay. Yeah, he said it wasn't the same as back in 2016. They had their test run as well. So now it's time, so they know that they're fighting against a more ready or more prepared Trump administration, in addition to the Supreme Court being stacked, in addition to the Senate is still being held by Republicans, or the Senate has Republicans. Did they determine the House yet? Hold on. House control. Okay. As of right now, they still have not decided who has the House. Only 411 of the 435 races have been called, so we still got 24 more races to be called. We need 218 seats in order to take the House. So let us pray. Okay, that's all I can say about that is let us pray. I still don't understand how they can calculate and tabulate. Is that the same thing? Calculate and tabulate the presidential race in ballots, and they can't determine what the House race and ballots are. It's on the same fucking ballot. When we went to go vote, everybody was on the same fucking ballot. So I don't understand how you couldn't determine. You looked at the presidential and counted them. Did you count the presidential and throw them to another pile and come back and say I'm gonna do the House and the Senate later? It don't make sense to me. I thought it was all tabulated at the same fucking time, but I don't know. It does not make sense to me, but that's fine. I do know that a lot of states or cities, counties, if the margin is really close, they will not call that. They will recount votes over and over again, things of that nature. Anna just said the thing that had me most enraged was that a little over a month ago, a man in Missouri was executed when he may not have been guilty. But that's what I'm saying. But dumb Donald gets off with 34 convictions. Yeah, exactly. He wasn't even guilty. They had already determined that he didn't do that. They had no evidence to convict him and execute him. But they did it anyway. It's only water here. I don't drink liquor. I know it's a red Solo cup, but I know it's just water. Okay, so let me pull up his da, 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 da. Let me see if I can pull up. There was Donald Trump's official website. Is this it? Platform. Okay, so here is Agenda 47. Where was I reading it earlier? Oh, hold on. Let me get to my email. Because I purposely saved it in my email so I can know exactly where to come back to. What's my email name? I don't mean to give you all this dry hair. That's because I know that's all you're looking at right now. Okay, so these days, there, here we go. So Donald J. Trump made 93 campaign promises, and of his 93 campaign promises, is like broken down into categories, right? Agenda 47 is a mess. Death penalty for people with drug offenses. Now who goes to jail more for drugs? Black people. That is not true. Black people do not go to jail more. Black people are more wrongly convicted for drug charges. I just had these statistics. I just looked it up. I want 60% of drug convictions of black people were determined what's the word I'm saying? So black people convicted for drugs. Bam. Okay. 60% of those people were wrongly convicted. That's what I'm saying. So when you take out the wrongly convicted from the numbers, hey Lou 72, how you doing? When you take out the wrongly convicted for the numbers, then the people more prosecuted for drug convictions and to be valid are white people. Hey Toya, I'm talking to you, but I didn't say hi. I know you was like, where the heck is you at yesterday? My bad. So okay, so he did budget and taxes. Those are a subject matter that he broke down in the Agenda 47. Immigration, his general domestic policy. It's some crazy crap in that one. Education system, foreign policy and national defense, the trade, energy policy, criminal justice. Those are his categories that he broke down. So I got my trusty laptop here with me. So under education, we talked about this in another video. He plans to abolish the Department of Education. He's going to seize It's insanity. He's going to seize the endowments of any universities that's. Oh, I got the hiccups. Hold on. I think I'm the only person that work on it. Actually, hold your breath for 10 seconds. He's going to seize the endowments of any university that still has DEI programs that consider race for admissions or hiring, or that teach CRT. The endowments will be seized by levying a fine in lawsuits that are supposed to be brought on by the DOJ. Um, a portion of the money will be used to compensate people who were believed to be discriminated against in admissions hiring for DEI practices. So this is intended for white and Asian people. These are people who said that they were negatively affected by affirmative action. So the endowments they're going to seize from these institutions, they're going to give the monies or distribute the monies to those people, right? If you are a student and you're a foreign student and you support Hamas or you make any anti-American statements on campus, then they're going to deport you. Tenures for teachers and professors, he's going to get rid of that altogether. Bible study will be mandatory in all public schools. Yeah, no more FAFSA means the less people being able to attend college. That's true, because a lot of people depend on the FAFSA, which is the government funding to help pay a portion of their tuition, if not all of it. Yeah. So yeah, he's going to enforce Bible study in public schools. So there will be no more separation of church and schools. School prayer will also be instituted in public schools. So they're going to force Christianity in the school system by the means of Bible study and school prayer. Everybody is not a Christian. There's Muslim students, there's Buddhist students, there's people like me who's not either. It's so many different religious beliefs that we have in this great melting pot we call United States of America. But they're going to be forcing Bible study in schools. And one of the things that he put under here, he kind of breaks it down on his website. One of the things that he put is like, I don't know if y'all seen this before, Christmas. Some people will put Xmas instead of Christmas because they don't necessarily celebrate the birth of Christ, but they may still celebrate the commercial meaning of the holiday, the gift giving, the celebrating with family, what have you. So they'll say Xmas so they won't offend other people who don't celebrate Christ, right? Well, they're going to be making it mandatory for us to say Christmas again instead of Xmas. College tuition. Now, this is the only positive thing. College tuition at all colleges and universities is due to be reduced. Okay, I think I said in the other live that he was going to make the Christian Academy. I was incorrect in the title. It's called the American Academy, which is going to be a university that's run by the federal government. Tuition will be free, and it's going to be paid for by money seized from the institutions that have DEI, and they do DEI hiring and CRT classes and things like that. Let's see. They're going to revoke federal funding for all nonprofits and academic programs that's dedicated to combating disinformation and misinformation online. So they don't think that the government should be paying any type of organization to stop the spread of misinformation. They want to, I guess, keep promoting misinformation. Say, how do they expect to enforce Christmas? Child, that I don't know, but they gonna try it. If anyone wants to go to college, please do it now. That's what my daughter was saying too. She was like, she wanted to go back to school, but now she don't know if she want to go under a Trump's administration. Yeah, Bible study in school. So it's a fuck separation of church and state. Exactly. But American University would just be used for induction. They already started a similar college like that here in Florida. I remember that. They took over an institution that already existed, And basically it's an indoctrination into the Christian lifestyle and into the Republican Party. Because they teach them how to work in government and handle government and make their presence and win elections and things like that. Okay, so that's just some of the things that's only some of the things in the education section. I'm gonna go back for a moment to, where did I put that at? Okay, so under the general domestic policy, I don't know if I shared this on the other page or not. Um, they're gonna build 10 new cities. These cities will be called freedom cities, and they will be free from all government regulations of any kind. So basically, he's going to create 10 sovereign nations. He doesn't say exactly where these cities are going to be located, with the exception that he's going to seize federal lands in order to build these cities on. He's going to take the federal land and give it to these people who desire this sovereign nation or sovereign city, and not have any type of government regulations or federal rules that they have to abide by. It's going to be a city of chaos. Prior to the United States becoming the United States, the state of Texas was one of the ones that wanted to be a sovereign nation. I believe the state of Oklahoma. Okay, so if you look at Texas and you look at Oklahoma, and Oklahoma has the little divot, you like got a square and then you got that little extra line for Oklahoma, right? So the little line of Oklahoma there, that was the part of Texas originally, right? And that part of Texas did not want to be part of the sovereign nation. It wanted to be part of the United States. So that's how Oklahoma ended up with that territory as part of their land. That's why they got that little divot. And then Texas ended up part of the Union as well. But that's basically what they want to do. So you're going to have 10 new cities that's going to be sovereign nations. Let's see. Okay. So, also under the general domestic policy, homelessness will be criminalized. So all homeless in the United States will be arrested and given the choice of incarceration or admission into one of the new federal tent cities for treatment. I don't know what type of treatment they're going to give for the homeless people. Every homeless person is not a drug addict. There are some homeless people that are actually down on their luck, who just couldn't make it, who lost their job, lost their income, lost their medical. There's a lot of homeless people out there that are just trying to stay alive. That everybody's not a drug addict. But according to Agenda 47, you will now be considered a criminal if you are homeless. And you will be arrested. And you will give them the choice of incarceration or living in the new federal tent city. I'm assuming that's one of the new cities that's free from all government regulations of any kind. Oh, the tent cities are going to be staffed with doctors, psychiatrists, and social workers. So he's going to send more astronauts to the moon, send more astronauts to Mars, open the federal lands to new home construction. They're going to seize the District of Columbia and have all city agencies run and controlled by the federal government. Now, the District of Columbia, as a lot of you know, some of you may not, is not considered a state. The District of Columbia was separate from the rest of the United States because they did not want where the White House was located to be controlled by any state government. So it sits alone. I think they call the District of Columbia territory. Hold on. Let me see. Give me a moment. What is, he said, Uh, 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 uh. What is that? It's not considered a territory, is it? Mm-mm-mm-mm. It's just referred to as the city simply as DC. The 1970 U.S. Congress established a 100 square mile of territory. It's considered a territory. See, I'll be kind of smart sometimes. It's considered a territory. So, District of Columbia, Washington, D.C. is an actual territory. And again, they did so to serve as a permanent seat of the federal government. Again, because they didn't want any particular state to have control of the government. So, according to Trump's plan, they plan to seize Washington, D.C. Okay. Let's see. Oh, this is one of the things that it says. So they're also going to create a mandatory holiday that we have to celebrate. They're going to create a White House task force called Salute 250. And that task force is going to organize 1 year of festivities across the entire United States that will last from Memorial Day of 2025 into July 4th of 2026. Salute 25 will include the Great American State Fair, and that state fair will be held every year in Iowa. That will this was promised to the state of Iowa right before the Iowa caucus. He's also going to create the Patriot Games, which to me sound like gladiator games. If y'all ever seen the Spartacus or y'all seen the movie or TV show Gladiator, this is what the Patriot Games sound like to me. It'll be an annual national competition, but it'll be for high school students. And they're going to have similar sports, they said, to the Olympics. This one is weird to me, right? Because the Republicans forced the ban or the restriction of TikTok, which the Democrats end up backing. I remember Biden saying that it was put to the floor and it was voted on by the floor and he was going to agree to it, whatever. And they have in here that every person over the age of 18 will be given the option to opt out of content moderation on social media platforms. The content moderation on social media platforms, these people who started using AI, they can no longer use AI to help with your content creation. Okay, so former employees of the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the DNI, the DHS, and the DOD, they should not be permitted to take any job with any social media company for 7 years after leaving government service. Okay, so let me go back to Celestine. Said that imagine the bullshit they would teach at that university ain't nothing but a Rachel and Leah Center. That is exactly what I thought it was too. A Rachel and Leah Center. Toya said something about pay them $1 an hour. Yeah. Okay. And then Anna says, so states' rights that Republicans scream is BS. Yes. The states' right that they are screaming is BS. And 100% in my opinion is BS. Which is why these governors and AGs are trying to strategize against it. Because I believe the governor of Washington had mentioned that, was it Gavin Newsom? The AG of California had said that he's going to put his trust that Trump is going to let the states be in control of majority of their legal things, their justice things. But he believes that all of this is just a plan to take complete control and to force national bans on pretty much everything, taking away their rights. Because right now they're saying, let the State control the national the abortion. Let the states control this. Let the states control that. But in the end, nah. This don't sound like he letting the states control much of anything. Um, let's see. He's going to remove the U.S. from the Paris Climate Accords in relation to climate control. He's going to repeal Biden's motor vehicle emission standards, also dealing with climate control. He's going to remove any recognition of, what's the word? Okay, let me just read it as it says. The U.S. government and agencies will only recognize people for the gender that's on their original birth certificate for all purposes. So people won't be allowed to, if they had reassignment surgery, they wouldn't be allowed to say that I'm now a woman. They have to keep on their birth certificate their man, and that's what he said they're gonna have to do. They can't use other pronouns. They have to be whatever gender is on their birth certificate. And of course, healthcare providers who perform gender reassignment surgeries on people who are under the age of 18 will permanently be terminated from the Medicare and Medicaid program. They themselves also will never receive Medicare or Medicaid if they assist in gender reassignment surgeries for people under the age of 18. Okay, so that's just some of the things. Again, this is not everything. So, dear immigrants, if you're watching this channel, all immigrants, including those with pending asylum claims, will be taken into custody and deported immediately by invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, a 300-year-old act. Now, we talked about this before. The Aliens Enemy Act, as it's written, states it's for males over the age of 14 who hail from countries that are enemies to the United States. So that, by that definition alone, that should not include women. That should not include anybody from Mexico. That should not include anybody from Canada. None of that, right? But somehow he's going to circumvent all that to include everybody and throw them in that pot. Now, from what I keep hearing, it's supposed to be 11 million people are due to be deported. And he's planning on doing this day one on Martin Luther King Jr. birthday. The day we celebrate Martin Luther King Jr.'s day. That's the day he's going to deport 11 million people. Now, I was watching, was it Legal AF? No, Brian Tyler Cohen. I was watching him and he was speaking to someone. Oh, God, I can't ever remember that guy's name when I'm not thinking about it. They was talking about the deportations, which he said he don't believe it. Okay. Now, we know Trump can lie his ass off. We all know it. We witnessed this. We seen it. Yet at the same time, I keep saying, y'all got to believe what this motherfucker's saying, right? Okay. So he has done some heinous shit, hands down. And based off of those things, that's why I say you got to believe what the fuck he's saying. But we do know he be lying. And this is one of the things that the guy was saying that he believes he's lying on. Simply because under their research, all the legal beagles that he works with and everything, they said that this will cost America $315 billion in order to deport 11 million people. The DOJ, who is the department that is over the deportations or what have you, or according to Trump, he wants the DOJ to be involved in deporting. The DOJ only has a budget of 50 million with the M, but it's going to cost 315 billion. So it's financially inconceivable that he's going to be able to deport 11 million people on day one and send them where? Where he going to drop them off at? He going to just drop them off in the middle of the sea? What the fuck? Where he going to take these people to? But so that gave me a little bit more positivity, because I've been looking for positivity, that there's no way they're going to be able to afford it. What they gonna take donations from the MAGAs again? Is that why he's selling all these watches and Bibles and stuff, and fake ass NFT cards and shit like that in order to pay for all of these deportations? Um, but yeah, all migrants. It doesn't say illegal immigrants. It doesn't say well, because it says including those with pending asylum claims. Usually, asylum claims are people who fled from other countries and they come to America seeking safe haven. So, but all migrants, not all immigrants, illegal immigrants, undocumented, all migrants is what it says here, including those with pending asylum claims, will be taken into custody and deported immediately. Now, I did read on his website in more detail. He said there is one exception, and that is if the undocumented person is married to a United States citizen, which I think that exception goes in there because that would save his wife, that would save J.D. Vance's wife from deportation. Okay, the next one, birthright citizenship. They will have an executive order that will end that. So I don't exactly know how the current law is written, but I thought it was that if you were born on American soil, that you have the right to American citizenship, even if your parents are not citizens. But if you were born on the soil, then you. That's what I thought. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on it. But he's going to end whatever the birthright citizenship is by an executive order. All persons who were born in the United States to migrant parents, doesn't mention whether it's undocumented, it just says to migrant parents, will have their citizenship revoked and be deported immediately. Where they're being deported to, again, I don't know, because if they're born in America, America is their home country. It's the only country they know, but they're going to revoke all of their citizenships and deport them immediately. The borders are going to be closed completely, with no migrants entering the U.S. by moving thousands of U.S. troops from overseas. So the troops, some of y'all are military like me, that are stationed in different branches overseas that are helping protect democracy in some of these other locations overseas, they're going to take those military personnel and put them on the border to make sure that no migrants will be entering into the United States. The border wall, they plan on finishing that. Now, last time when he started that border wall, he stole that money because he hadn't got approved for that money, and the money he did get approved for, Biden had to end up building some more of the wall. The wall is like nowhere near complete, and the portion of the wall that is built, they keep saying that don't work anyway. So any Mexican asylum seekers, they're going to release all of those. I read that wrong. All asylum seekers that are trying to enter into the U.S. Will remain in Mexico. They will increase criminal penalties for illegal entry, and he's going to reinstitute every travel ban that he had existed. So all of our Muslim brethren, the ones who wanted to vote against Kamala for the sake of Gaza, they gonna restrict y'all ass too. And then most of y'all probably migrants, so you're already part of the deportation. Okay, so what else I got here? Child? It's a lot more. It's a lot more. It's I think it's 93 things on that list. And like I said, if you go to his website, you'll know that the things that I just read off aren't just me speaking. It's not just me reading off what somebody else wrote. These are his own words. Like I say, you can read the transcripts, but you can also push play on the video and you can hear it word for word out of his own mouth. Oh, did I miss the part about I did. The criminal justice system. I didn't go over the foreign policy. I didn't go over that. He plans on making the UE reimburse the United States for every dollar that we have given to Ukraine from the time that the Russian invasion began. Um, this part right here, this part got my daughter. This part got my daughter. He wants to create an Iron Dome missile defense shield to go over the United States. So, what was that called? It was a TV show that was really good that I liked. And they had like a dome over the United States, but they were protecting from radiation, if I'm not mistaken, what they was protecting from. What was it? Oh, that was called Under the Dome. That's what it was called, Under the Dome. I really like that show. So yeah, he wants to put a dome over the United States. A dome missile shield. I don't know how that's going to affect transportation, but he's trying to get rid of the transportation department anyway. Yeah. Okay. So let's see here. I was trying to go to, that's the energy pilot. Criminal justice. Here we go with the criminal justice. His first thing on the criminal justice, he's going to pardon defendants convicted and arrested for crimes related to January 6th. And he's going to pardon defendants convicted and arrested for crimes related to the stolen documents case. So his specific cases. He's going to have the death penalty for human trafficking. He's also, people that are convicted of selling drugs will receive the death penalty. So in states like the one I live in, Florida, they did not pass legalizing marijuana. So technically marijuana is still considered a drug here in Florida. By definition, if I go off of what Trump's agenda is saying, if somebody got stopped with marijuana and is thought to be selling it, because usually that's what police officers I've seen do. You could be having it on you for your own personal use and recreation. They're going to say that you trying to sell it. Anyway, if you're convicted of selling drugs in the state of Florida, you can receive the death penalty in any other state that a drug is in your possession that they believe you're trying to sell. However, there's this drug trafficker named Ross Albright. He's going to get a pardon for his drug trafficking. This was a promise that Donald Trump made to the Libertarian Party. That's why so many of the Libertarian Party supporters voted for Trump. And then I told you he's going to change the DOJ into his own little fighting machine. Sit down! Sorry, my dog. Sit down! We're clippity clapping on the floor. You probably got to go to the bathroom. Anyway, DOJ will investigate and prosecute all local district attorneys believed to have I'm reading that wrong. He's going to have the DOJ investigate and prosecute local district attorneys that, what am I reading? Oh, this was a typo. That's why I can't read it. I'm like, that don't make sense. The Department of Justice will investigate and prosecute local district attorneys because of their religious beliefs, such as anti-abortion activists outside of clinics. Boy, this whole sentence didn't make no sense. Okay, let me make sure I ain't missing no doggone chat. Just the button ain't moving. Okay, so. Oh, yeah, I missed a whole lot of y'all. So here. Let me go back. Toya says, so my God, everything you're describing will no longer be America. It will no longer be America. And that's what he said in his victory speech on Election Day, that this is going to be an America like we've never seen before. I thought he gave it a name too. I want to think he called it the Golden Dawn of America or something like that. So his buddy Caitlyn Jenner, how she feel about that? I didn't see. You know what? I'm not on Twitter no more. I think I still got my account, but I haven't been on her. I wonder what Caitlyn Jenner had to say. Because Caitlyn going to have to call Caitlyn a man now. Caitlyn. I put in Caitlyn Jenner and got Caitlyn Clark. Trump election. Caitlyn talk a whole lot on Twitter. Let's see. Caitlyn ain't said nothing. The last post got to do with it being election day. Yeah. Nothing on Twitter. I don't know if she on Instagram or not. I see how I'm so easily calling Caitlyn Jenner she. Not no more. Not according to Donald Trump. Okay. So Celestine was asking who was even an enemy to the country 300 years ago. I don't even know. You sure right. Who was the enemy to the country? Who was America's enemy in 1798? France. In 1798, the United States stood on the brink of war with France. With France. The Aliens Enemy Act was invoked during World War II, though. It was done so to incarcerate people such as Americans of Japanese descent into internment camps. So if you was born Japanese, or you were a Japanese American, you were born in America, you was an American citizen, but you were got Japanese descent or ancestry, they was targeting you. That's crazy. Let's see, who did this? Back then it was the Federalist Party. It wasn't the Republicans. The Federalist Party is the one who originated the Aliens Enemy Act and enacted it. And the Democratic Republican Party, they used to stand as one, also known as the Jeffersonians. They stood against the Aliens Enemy Act, but somehow the Federalist Party was able to get it in the dockets, and it never got repealed and it never expired. So the Democratic Republican Party is currently the Democratic Party of today. I didn't know that either. I be learning some history up here. Y'all be getting me learning some stuff. Okay. Yeah, I never thought to ask that question. Who the heck was they fighting in 1970 or 1798? Okay, so Toya said political pundits say he won't be able to deport 11 million people. It would cost too much money. I won't be surprised if it's another build a wall stunt, which he claimed he's still trying to build the wall. That's what he's still claiming. But he said that Mexico was going to pay for it. He's insistent that Mexico was still going to pay for that wall too. And Mexico was like, the fuck I will. Which is why he can't stand Mexico. I know a few black men that were pro-Trump just for immigration and deportation. They're going to feel so stupid when it doesn't happen. I don't get that. I just don't get why black people who were illegally brought to this motherfucking country is worried about another motherfucker coming across the border. They ain't taking no jobs that you want. Your ass don't want to be up here on the roof, in the hot ass sun, nailing down nails. You ain't trying to be out here landscaping somebody's lawn. You damn sure ain't in the farmers out there in the fields, plucking fruit and all that other shit because it's too close to slavery. So I'm not understanding what the fuck the black men who wanted to be against immigration and deportation, what the fuck that was about. I'm not even understanding the fucking Latinos. It was people that I was reading about, the Latinos who was voting with Trump based off of the border. Motherfucker, you came across the border. But some of them was feeling, well, I had to go through a struggle to get here, get my citizenship. They should have to too. They the same motherfuckers that sound like the ones who talk about the student loan relief. Just because your ass had to pay it and you had to struggle with bills, don't mean it was right. And now these people got an opportunity to not have to go through that same struggle, and you want to hold their ass into it. You want to keep their feet in the fucking fire because your feet was hot. Stupid asses. They get on my goddamn nerves with that shit. A lot of the Toya, if you've been on my channel though, a lot of the black men that came on my channel that was supporting Trump didn't have nothing to do with the border, didn't have anything to do with immigration. They didn't know shit about the fucking economy. Half of them motherfuckers was on a bus and didn't know anything about a gas in the car anyway. They just did not want Kamala Harris to be president. They called her hoes. They said she was stupid, she was uneducated. They just did not want that black woman, the black Asian woman, to be fucking president. That's all that was. And that's the same thing when they decided to push President Biden out. They was trying to put somebody else in place besides Harris. When they pushed Biden out, they was trying to push Harris out too. And then Biden did a 180 on their ass after he backed out the election, came back in 27 minutes later, say I endorse Kamala Harris, and threw everybody in the motherfucking tizzy. That's all that shit was. I'm sure he's going to pardon the January 6th crew, which will send a message to the embolden these MAGA racists to be violent towards black and brown people with no consequences. Yeah, that's one of the first things he said he's going to do on day one is remove the January 6th people and let them free. So Don Jr. going to get the DP for his cocaine. He should, according to Trump. His son shouldn't be exempt. Oh, his son is a user. That's what they're going to say. He has a habit. It's only the people who sell it. So Trump is coming for all those who try to put him in jail for his crimes. That's a fact. And he said that he was going to do that too. It's retribution time for him. And the sad part is Supreme Court granting him immunity will make this possible. And the Supreme Court. So right now they're trying to impeach Clarence Thomas, which they should have did a long time ago. AOC started the process a few months ago as far as Clarence Thomas's impeachment. But according to Trump's 47 agenda 47, he's going to appoint 2 new Supreme Court justices because 2 are going to retire. And he's expecting that to be Justice Alito and Clarence Thomas. He think they're going to retire. And with that, he's going to put 2 young guns, 2 MAGA nuts, 2 Heritage Foundation appointees into the Supreme Court. So this very not deserving of the job. But in addition to the Supreme Court, apparently there are 234 positions for judges nationwide, and these are the appellate court judges. What are the district judges? Things that are appointed by the president. He plans on locking those up with MAGA nuts. 234 judges. He's really trying to stack the justice system against us. I didn't realize there was that many judges up for many seats up for appointment, but that's exactly what he's planning on doing. They're not about to play with Caitlyn or Blair White. I want to see what's going to happen. Caitlyn quiet right now. Caitlyn real quiet. But I've seen a lot of videos on IG, some on YouTube as well, that a lot of the people who supported Trump honestly believe it don't include them. I'm seeing reports from a lot of Latino people who said they try to talk to their family members and try to get them to understand the gravity of the situation, and they specifically told them, that's not me. That's like with I always say with black people, you got the good blacks. These are the ones that people who are racist, they will latch onto this one specific black person and say, I like you. You one of them good blacks. Them people. That's what they think. They the good Latinos, and they not gonna be touched by anything that Trump is I don't know if they're gonna have like a Trump card, walking around in their pocket or something to show that I voted for Trump. That's gonna make them exempt from this removal or this deportation or being affected by any of these things. But like I was saying in the other video too, like I saw a lot of people celebrating, or not really celebrating, but saying, well, now these Trumpers get to see what it feels like. These Trumpers gonna reap what they sow. They asked for this, now they finna get what they want. And I'm like, we gonna get it too. We not gonna be exempt from it. Whatever they get, we gonna get too. Or vice versa. Whatever we gonna be coming to us, they gonna feel it too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I understand the mentality of why you saying what you're saying. Like, fucking let them feel it. But damn it, we gotta feel it too. That's what I'm like. But yeah, a lot of these people, they don't believe that it includes them. They voting against. We say they're voting against their own self-interest. They don't consider it to be their interest. It's the others. They not part of the others. Joyanne Reed, she posted a clip of her segment of her show today that I reshared on my channel, and she called it out too. She said there are a lot of African immigrants that she know, and I said it the other day. There's a lot of Caribbean immigrants that I don't know of that are diehard Trumpers. They don't associate themselves with Black Americans, so they don't see that we have the same plight. They don't think that they are under the same umbrella as us. They are the others. They are not. Some of them will tell you they ain't Black. I'm not Black, I'm Jamaican. I'm not Black, I'm Nigerian. They don't associate the word Black. And when you have look at broader conversations worldwide too, usually when people say the term or say the word Black, they automatically assume they're talking about a Black American. It's very in the UK, it's becoming more popular now for British citizens to consider themselves to be Black, or they'll call themselves Black Brits. A lot of times they don't even associate themselves with their mother country. They're not saying that they're African Brits, or they're not saying they Nigerian Brits. They're saying they're Black Brits now. But it's very in most countries where there's a Black population, they don't consider themselves to be Black with a capital B. They think Black with a capital B is just Americans. Dominicans don't consider themselves Black. A lot of Brazilians don't consider themselves Black. But they don't consider themselves white either. Some of them don't even consider themselves white either until they come to America. When they come to America, they want to associate themselves with the proximity to whiteness because white is right, technically speaking, in this country in their eyes. So yes, so they vote with Trump because they want to align themselves with what they think is the most popular, dominant race in this country. I think a few years ago when my daughter was in college, I remember telling a story about going to this hotel and this Indian guy was there, and how he was like the first one that I think I had ever met that had said that me and him were the same, that we come from the same motherland, that we came from the same source of genetics, that we were one. Because normally when I meet other Indian people, they don't consider themselves, they could be darker than me. They could be blue black, and they don't consider themselves a Black person, even though we know that they're Indian. They still consider themselves to be white. And I know when like Italians first came to America, they were going through this same thing about race. Italians and Black people used to be united. There's something that happened in the United States government. I can't remember exactly what it was. That they reclassified Italians as white people. And then in order for Italians to be accepted, then they had to start acting like the races they were around. And then it became like contempt with the black race. Nikki Haley, she's another one who she says, yeah, I'm an Indian person, but she thinks she's white. She claims that she's white. Same thing with Usha Vance, with JD Vance's wife. Same thing. Um, and I think that's why they try to make it such a point that uh, Kamala used to be Indian, and now all of a sudden she's black. And it was like a hard concept to grasp, a hard concept for them to grasp that she accepted both sides of who she was. Um, I think it was something else I was about to say. I can't remember what it was now. Child. But anyway, I'm feeling a lot better than I was a few days before. I really think, going back to the beginning of this video, I really think that the speeches that the AGs gave, and it sounds to me like, because I thought I heard the Washington governor say this. I heard Letitia James said this, and Gavin Newsom also said this. Josh Shapiro did too. That they have been working for months with the other Democratic governors and AGs in order to keep their eye on the ball and to lock into place different preventive measures to make sure people's rights and freedoms weren't taken. They've been running through different scenarios. If this happened, they've been basically playing chess. If this happened, then we got to go this way. If that happened, then we have to go this way. And they're not just looking out, even though they made speeches today to their own states. They all said they are not just looking out for their own state. They're looking out for the country as a whole. And even though they're only working with Democrats, they know that they are citizens that support. It just sucks for us with Republicans. Yeah, that's what I was about to address. They said also that they well, at least a few of them said they are also looking out for even the red states, because there are blue cities within those red states. There are citizens within those communities, marginalized communities, marginalized not just by finances, but just by having your rights. Good night, Anna. Thank you for coming through. Just by having your rights restricted, they consider you to be marginalized. They are going to be looking out for those, for everybody as a whole. The things, like, even though, like I said, I didn't know they had filed 435 cases against the Trump administration during his first run. I didn't even know that. But based off of the things that they were able to achieve, we as a country were able to benefit from it. We didn't even know what was going on. So that's what they are planning as well. So even though you may live in a red state with a red governor, the Democrats are still trying to work to implement some type of plan. And like I said, this is what I've been looking for. This is what I've been hearing. I was so fucking sick of hearing all these goddamn PC ass speeches. Well, we as in America, we just want to say that the democratic process worked. We all got out there and we used our voices and we voted and we lost. And we just have to accept the fact that we lost and then fight harder the next time. Get out there and vote again. I was so fucking tired of hearing that damn speech. So fucking tired. Like the vote is the only thing that was going to save our asses out here in this goddamn country. And I'm sitting here saying, what the fuck is our leaders going to do? We elected y'all to lead us, to be the voice for the fucking people, and y'all sitting back twiddling y'all motherfucking thumbs. So to hear all these fucking governors and all these attorney generals come out, it was like bada bada bam boom, we gonna keep our foot on this motherfucking neck. I was amped up. Okay, Toya says she needs you need the Democrats to stop running their party like it's 1992. They need to get low and ratchet like the Republicans and protect us for some motherfucking blows. That's what I'm saying. That's what they need to do. And to hear that type of shit amps me up. That type of stuff takes me out of my depression. Like, okay, cool. We got somebody in direct leadership that can help guide us. So us little foot soldiers on the ground down here don't seem like we marching and stomping and screaming and whatever else we doing for nothing. Like we all singing in vain. You know what I'm saying? That right there, that's why I say I would have loved to hear that from Kamala. And when I played back her speech, she was kind of like leaning towards that, like, yo, don't ever give up. Don't give up. We're not going to give up the fight. I really want to know what is her next move. Because Right now, she still got a tiptoe. She still got a tiptoe because she is still the sitting vice president. But I want Joe Biden. I want him to wreck shop before he get the fuck up out of here. Now he's gonna send $6 billion in funds to Ukraine to help fund the war prior to him leaving office, so Trump won't have to stop that. As we just read, Trump is going to try to make the EU pay back all the money that the U.S. gave to Ukraine. Okay. He also said that he was going to try to change the way that the Supreme Court is made up. He's going to enforce term limits on them as well. I haven't heard anything else about that. Let me see what Joe Biden, term limits, Joe. See what happened with that. AOC, Biden needs to expand the courts before he leaves. He needs to expand and appoint. But I think even if he does that, I think Trump can do it again too. There's no limit on how many people have to be in the Supreme Court. It's been as low as 7. I think it's been as high as, I want to say 17. I have to look that up again. Supreme Court reform. So that was back in July when he announced his plan to reform the Supreme Court. And since July, there has been no other reports that I see about what he's doing, what he's going to do. He's supposed to be implementing a constitutional amendment that was going to strip the presidency of the immunity. He's also going to put term limits on the Supreme Court. What else? He really need to do that, stripping the president of immunity. He would need to do that shit. Where do you go? A constitutional amendment stripping the president of immunity for committing crimes while in office. Term limits for the Supreme Court justice. A binding code of conduct for the High Court. The Supreme Court is the only court in the land that does not have code of conduct that they must follow, which is why Alito's and Justin Thomas and them able to do the shit that they do. So far, yeah, that's what all the changes. I don't know why he can't ratify fucking Roe versus Wade before he leave office too. Make it a national thing and ratify that. I know Harris was talking about removing the filibuster in order to ratify Roe versus Wade. Biden could do that too. Okay, so if it was Kamala or Biden, there's no way I would have called Trump to congratulate with him. I wouldn't have called his ass. There's no way I'd even show up to transition the power to Trump. Let him move on his own. He didn't show up last time, and the transition still happened. He didn't show up. They don't have to show up either. But they got to be respectful. It would be nice if he expanded the Supreme Court and appointed Kamala. Ooh, that would be good. I wanted them to appoint Obama. I really did. Ooh, that would be good. Trump mainly ran to stay out of prison. I wouldn't be surprised if he has Elon Musk and RFK running the presidency behind the scenes, which is scary as hell. He actually said that he was going to allow RFK to run the presidency. He was going to be pretty much in charge of everything except for oil and gas. He wants to control the liquid gold. He wants to drill this earth for all the oil and he can get. Drill America for all this resources that he could possibly get. And he's going to let Kennedy run everything. That's what he said. I know that Elon Musk, they have reports out there that he's been talking to Putin for the last couple of years for some odd reason. And then there was a phone call that happened the other day with Trump and Zelensky. And he included Elon Musk in on the conversation, which didn't make sense to me. That Elon not supposed to be over defense. So, yeah, it's a lot of rumors going around what he said he's going to do. He's already stacking his cabinet. He's already stacking his cabinet. There's also rumors that Susan Wiles is going to be the one that's really running things. I doubt that very much. They don't want no woman running nothing for real. Susan Wiles is going to be another face up there. She probably will be the one telling him what to do. Because I told y'all before that that white women be controlling some shit. Like when you think back at slavery times and you think about Massa did all this wrong shit and all this despicable shit, his wife was doing the most too. Okay? She was doing the most too. And she was making him think that he was making decisions that he really wasn't making, and she was doing it. He was doing it for her. Trust and believe. Susan Wiles may be out there running shit. Ain't no telling. I don't know if Susan Wiles not cute enough for him. She an old biddy. He like them young things with the altered faces. So yeah, I hope that Biden will come in there and do. Israel's prime minister congratulated Trump and said this is a win. Now all the pro-Gaza people looking stupid. That's basically what they doing, looking stupid. Like I said, majority of the pro-Gaza people who were are Muslims. Most of them are. The ban is directly targeting them as well. He's going to reinstate all the bans, and the Muslim ban was part of it. But yeah, a lot of the world leaders called to congratulate him. I don't like the genocide, but people must understand how you're going to help others across the globe when your own rights have been stripped. I was saying that too. I was making the point to say that too back when all that happened. I didn't speak a lot about the Gaza war, Israel war at all. I did have a couple thoughts on it, and I can tell y'all my thoughts. I'm gonna repeat it again, but I'm gonna use me as an example, so it won't seem so harsh. Me and you been going at it for some years. I'm saying we've been going at it. At some point, we ain't been throwing direct shots with it at each other, but we walk by each other and we still looking at each other real ugly, right? Okay. Now, over the years, when we have gotten into it, I've been pretty much spanking that ass. So now that we ain't really directly banging it out, we just throwing ugly looks at each other, saying a little few shady things behind each other's back. You think to yourself, this is the time that I can come in and fuck her up without her even knowing it, right? Okay. So you take it upon yourself to attack me because you thought that I was weak at this particular point. You thought you had an end to get in good and to strike back for all the years that I have been fucking you up. Okay? So this was what basically happened. What you didn't expect, I was still a little bit stronger than what you thought I was the last time we fought. Okay? So, in my mind, I'm sitting here saying, how dare this motherfucker step to me like this again? I'm finna beat the fuck out of him. And I'm going to keep beating him until I'm tired. And as for me, that's how I would approach life. Okay, I try to leave them out of it and just make it me. You understand what I'm saying? If I'm battling with somebody for years to come, we done settle down a little bit. But other than that, we threw some shade and some words and, have some back and forth just a little bit every now and then. And you come in thinking that you finna fuck me up and I'm still holding my motherfucking ground. I'm still standing strong. And I respond to you thinking you was gonna fuck me up. And now you want me to stop? Because you done got hurt. You done got too hurt. I wouldn't. Before therapy, I wouldn't. I would beat your ass until I can't beat it no more. That's how I would have done. Before therapy. But now that I'm in therapy, I have been taught to have a little bit more humanity. I have been taught that enough is enough. When my friends who were spectators was on the sidelines, who was probably egging on the fight, like, yeah, go fuck him up, hit him again one more time. You know what? I'm going to give you a brick, bust that bitch upside the head. When those friends start saying, okay, y'all doing too much. At some point, after therapy, I say to myself, y'all motherfuckers might be right. I need to go ahead and back off. I don't hurt him enough. But Israel doesn't have that they haven't got to that point. They haven't had that therapy. So they haven't developed that moral fiber to discern when enough is enough. They still like, you thought you could beat my ass? Okay, I'm going to show you that you can't beat my ass. I'm going to fuck you up till I can't fuck you up no more. So I understood what was going on both sides, which is one reason why I decided to stay out of it as far as conversation is going. But like, if y'all ever been on this channel long enough and y'all ever heard me talk, and I'll be reviewing a TV show and somebody would say, your mama, to whatever, just I'm being rigid, Eric. And then the person said, how you gonna talk about my mama? My mama died. And they expect that person to not talk about their mama because they now just said something really hurtful for them that really hit them hard because their mama died. I'm that person that was like, fuck you and your mama. Just because I don't like you. I don't give a damn about you. I could care two shits about whatever's going on in your life. Fuck you and your feelings. So just because, if I'm at that point, if I'm that angry, there's no exceptions for you. There is no exceptions. But it takes somebody with a moral fucking fiber to sit back and say, you know what, that's fucked up. That's my bad. I shouldn't have said nothing about that person, mama. I won't say nothing about their mom again. My bad. You know what I'm saying? It takes somebody with a moral fiber, and Israel is showing at this point that they have no moral fiber. However, I would say, if you come at me, I don't care if I've been bullying you for years. If you come at me and you think you're going to win, you better be prepared to actually win. Because if I get the best of you, I'm going to keep fucking you up. That's all I'm saying. So I understand. I understand that people's saying it's genocide because he's hurting people who have nothing to do with this war, but that's what they do in wars. That's what they do in battles. Innocent people get hurt, unfortunately. But the fact that they want to completely wipe out the country, yes, by definition, is genocide. However, at the same time, they are defending themselves in the way that they feel best. I hope that makes sense. And that's why when people say that they're going to support their allies, but I still can have compassion for the people that's in Gaza, I understand it 100% wholly. I totally understand that you can have compassion for both sides. You can have an understanding for one side and still have compassion for the other. Put it that way. I was going to say something else about that too. I don't remember what I was going to say. Yeah, your point is that the genocide in Gaza will continue. But they've been fighting for over 100 years. They have been fighting for over years. Yeah, we've been stripped of our rights. So y'all protested against Kamala for what? You only screwed yourself. Trump is not going to stop Israel's genocide. Trump is definitely not going to stop Israel's genocide. He told Netanyahu to do what the fuck he want to do to take them off the map. He told him that. So I'm not even sure why they thought voting for Trump was a protest vote against Kamala. First of all, she wasn't even fucking in charge. She's not the president. She's the vice president. And there was something that Trump had mentioned before. He was talking about Kamala. And he keeps associating her with the Biden administration. And he was like, if I was in office, the Ukraine war wouldn't have started. If I was in office, this war wouldn't have started. If I was in office, there wouldn't be nothing against Taiwan. But none of this stuff. That's what he keeps saying. There was no wars when I was happening. There was no wars. There has, since when Trump went to office the first time, there is 55 wars that the United States involved themselves in. 55. So for him to sit there and tell a lie that there was no wars when he was in office is a bald-faced ass lie. And not only was there 55 wars that he involved himself in, there was also a number of wars, not even wars. There was also a number of attacks, drone strikes that Trump initiated against countries that we were not even in war with. during his administration. But they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about that. Okay, where we going? Where we going? Okay, what time is it? I don't know what time of day it is, y'all. I do gotta work in the morning. I should have did this on Saturday. I gotta get up in the morning. Hold on. It's 11:57. I'm finna close out and get off here and go to bed. Thank y'all for coming in this chat, sitting out here with me. I need to check on my daughter. She went out with her friends about 7 o'clock, and I don't want them to be driving drunk. So I need to make sure that I'm not gonna go pick her up. Okay, so yeah, I want to thank y'all for coming here. And Toya, I am so sorry that I didn't do it yesterday, child. I put my phone on the charger, and then I didn't realize that my eyes was closing, and I went to sleep and woke up this morning and was like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be doing live. So thank y'all for being here. I appreciate your engagement. I'll try to do another chat again soon. I'm gonna try to keep up with stuff that's going on as far as policy. I don't know why, y'all, but I got a feeling I don't think he's gonna make it to Inauguration Day. And I'm not talking about getting taken out. I think something is gonna happen that he may not get sworn in. Oh, we asked the question. Anna asked it. She's gone already, but she asked what was gonna happen with his November 26th case. And I put the comment in the comment section what that was about. Okay, so Trump's sentencing. The sentencing may still happen. He may just be subjected to a fine. A lot of his charges that he had fines that were applicable to them instead of jail time. So he may just have a fine. Okay. 2, they may still go forward with the charges and say that he doesn't have to serve them right now. They'll wait until he's out of office before he actually has to serve time. Or they may drop it altogether. Those are the 3 choices with his criminal case for the state of New York. As far as his federal crimes with Jack Smith, everybody keeps saying it's gone. It's going to go away. He going to pardon himself. Jack Smith is supposedly winding down both cases. What that means specifically, we don't know. There's a couple options. He could decide to close out the cases altogether, which if he does that, he cannot be retried. He can stay the case until Trump is no longer in office as well. If he stays the case, they still can continue, even though the statute of limitations may run out. He can still continue those cases if he stays them or delays the case, put it that way, suspends the case. Then he can still come back after Trump gets out of office and tries to push forward with those cases again, although Trump said that he's going to fire Jack Smith within the first 2 minutes of his office. Trump can also try to pardon himself. If he does so, that means he's going to order the DOJ in order to pardon himself, which by constitutional law is illegal. I did find out what I didn't know was that the regulation that states that they cannot press charges or convict a sitting president is not a law. This is just something that the DOJ made one of their internal regulations. So Jack Smith would not be in violation of any law if he decides to prosecute him. But it will go against the DOJ's regulations. And it's like with any job, like they have certain rules and regulations that you can do or you can't do within that job. You know what I'm saying? That's normal. That's nothing out of the norm. So what a lot of the legal people that I watch, what they're saying, they're hoping that he decides to just suspend the cases, and hope that Trump does not make it past the next 4 years. Yeah, unless Trump do a Nixon and resign before his term is up, which I doubt he do because he is such a narcissist. He's not gonna give up that easy. So yeah, those are what I found out about his cases, and I'll try to keep following up. I like doing the lives and just talking about stuff. But if y'all had any questions that y'all want me to address in the next live, leave it in the comment section of this video once it posts. And thank y'all again for coming by. I will see y'all next time. Peace.